Good morning, Life Church. Anyway, today we are looking at Ephesians 5:11, and there are two applications I want us to take away from this verse. But before we dive in, let's take a big picture overview of Ephesians. So Ephesians 1 to 3 is all about how we have been rescued from darkness into light, from being orphans into being adopted into God's family. And then Ephesians 4 to 6 is essentially how do we go on living in the light? How do we go on being part of God's family? And in that second half from 4 to 6, Paul lists 7 fruitless deeds of darkness. And they're called fruitless deeds of darkness because they don't give life to anyone in this world. And these 7 are, the first one is lies. And Paul urges us, instead of being people who lie, let's be people that tell the truth. The second one is anger. Let's not be anger and bitter, but instead let's be people that promote peace. Third one is don't be thieves, but instead let's be generous. And often when we think of theft, we think of like burglar Bill climbing through windows. But actually theft could be something as taking credit for work that you haven't done in the workplace. He says, next one is let's not be gossips. And I think as a nation, we are incredibly guilty of this one. Why is it whenever I'm guilty, why is it whenever we meet with other people, we feel this impulse to talk about everyone we mutually know and share a story about them? But instead of doing that, let's be encouraging and use that time to build one another up. It says, let's not take revenge and be bitter. Instead, let's be forgiving. Let's not be promiscuous and have lust. Instead, let's have self-control. Finally, let's not be pursuing after drunkenness or pursuit of pleasure. Instead, let's be looking ahead to the next time when we can be filled with the presence of God. Anyway, so Ephesians 5:11 says, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. And so the two applications for today, the first application is have nothing to do with these things by God's strength in your life as you live today. And the second application is if you do happen to stumble and mess up today, a great way to combat and to get above beat sin is to expose it. Just shine a light on it and basically tell God, hey God, I'm sorry, I've messed up today. Or to share with a friend that you trust or a spouse or a good brother, hey, I've messed up in this area. I don't want to keep on doing that. And that is a fantastic way to combat. So Ephesians 5:11 have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them.